I have been meaning to record this for a while. Whatever, I'm sure it's fine. With Labor Day coming up and with some light schoolwork easily knocked out, I had nothing else to do other than hit the tracks. So here I find myself at Lawrenceville, Georgia on the CSX Abbeville subdivision. Have you ever wondered about this track breaking off the main line? The first thought that comes to mind is a station track for the depot, and you'd be partially correct. This originally was an old track bed, and this probably was a regular stop for passenger trains, but this other track, peeling off that right of way, doesn't make much sense. At first, I thought it was an old industrial spur, but there are no industries that this track could connect to. As it turns out, Lawrenceville was not entirely based off this railroad. Rather, it was the Lawrenceville Branch Railroad that first reached town. Seeing the potential in striking up business in Lawrenceville, the Southern Railway chartered the Lawrenceville Branch Railroad, which was a narrow gauge short line between Sewanee along the Norfolk Southern's Greenville district, to namesake Lawrenceville. When the Georgia, Carolina, and Northern came through town, they had Lawrenceville right on their main line, and recognizing how much of a monopoly this gave the GC&N, which soon turned into the Seaboard Airline, the Lawrenceville Branch sued the SAL. The Lawrenceville Branch won, and the Seaboard was forced to install this track, not as an industrial spur, but rather an interchange track. Fascinating history, huh? Oh yeah, there was also this other railroad in town, but we can talk about that in another video. Anyway, back to the story. Before I left home, I got word of a heritage unit leading M583, daily Nashville to Rocky Mount, North Carolina traffic. I actually had word of another heritage unit that was leading the day, or rather the morning prior, on the same train, so getting a shot at redemption was definitely a welcome sign. So here I am. It's high noon, as the old folks say, and we have a high green signal at the south end of Lawrenceville. Notice something? Yeah, that's a unit with a low number board. On most new CSX orders, they've specified number boards mounted on the top of the cab like shown. But prior to about 2005, CSX ordered new locomotives with nose-mounted number boards, meaning the number boards were mounted on the front of the locomotive on the nose. Knowing that the heritage units all have high number boards, it is safe to assume that this is not our heritage unit, and it's one of CSX's early GEVOs. Oh, and that it was a local, which in hindsight I probably should have said in the first place. Anyhow, skip forward an hour of shopping, and here we are again with another green signal. I thought this train would be here within 5 minutes of arriving, but it was actually closer to 30 minutes in the sweltering heat with only a few crackles of the scanner. But finally, after waiting quite impatiently, the crossing down the line activates. And now, here comes M583 with the 1976 leading. Now, I don't know when CSX started throwing auto racks onto 583, but I've never seen them on this train before. I can only assume this is a practice they adopted after eliminating M280 and M281, which used to be daily trains on this line as well, until being discontinued in early 2025. Another instance of PSR killing this line. Next up on the chopping board is this local. I don't remember exactly how I got the symbol for him, but I believe he's L827-29.
I guess like ahead, 3 best switch form.
I actually came up here to Winder to try and catch M583 again at a spot I wanted to try out for the new I-187 and I-188 duo. Since I already got a decent shot of M583 and getting a faulty shot wouldn't risk much. But I was about a mile behind him, and somehow, someway, every single light I approached turned red. I don't know what logic this is, but there is some force that is trying to stop me from catching this train, dog. I didn't stay long since I was parked in the shoulder, and you know, I don't really want to get a ticket for that, even though the shoulder is kind of useless. So I went south to Auburn. We met L827 here. Well, it's more like L827 pulled up to us. After what must have been 50 minutes, another player showed up. The counterpart to M583, and the other daily reliable train on this line, M582. He didn't have anything interesting that I'm aware of, but I figured I'd catch him since both trains are running in daylight hours right now, and I know they're just begging to fall back into the cover of night. And I'm not about to wake up at 5 AM like a foamer to see some paint on a locomotive. We're gonna ignore how I get sad about missing paint. This is pure luck at its finest. I swear I will not get this luck again, except for this weirdly goated M583. I was not expecting this side-by-side meet, but I was very happy to catch it. And in just a few more moments, here came L827 sliding into Palmer. Four trains in 4 hours? That is not a bad day on the Abbeville.